So, have you ever seen a project approved in a boardroom? How the projects are approved? Everyone feels excited. Leadership celebrates the decision. The organization will commit a lot of resources, over optimistic kind of resources, and everyone was very happy. And the celebration is over. The project started. The project phase started. Execution started. And the same project after 6 months, if you go, majority of the problems will be there, and majority of these projects will have these typical problems like budget started increasing, schedule began sleeping, teams started firefighting, and the organization asks what went wrong. In many cases, the real problem did not start during execution. The real problem actually started during the project approval itself. It sounds very strange, but yes, this is a fact. Many projects fail because they do not realize few of the minor fundamental things of a project. Today we will discuss something very very important. There is something called the hidden cost of poor project. Those costs are never visible because of the poor planning or the poor governance. Those are the costs. And then we approve those costs. And then understanding of these costs, understanding of these fundamental errors can actually help us to be a much stronger project leader. Trust me. What does project approval really means? What exactly is the project approval? What do we project? The answer is very important. Project approval is not just a signature, it's a commitment decision. When leadership approves a project, the organization commits certain things. The organization commits money, people, it also commits time, and it also commits strategic attention. Once that decision is taken, the organization moves forward with momentum. Changing the decision later becomes very, very difficult. But then we also have to understand that why do weak approval happens? Why does it happen? First of all, in many organizations, approvals happen under pressures. Sometimes leadership wants to move fast. Sometimes competition forces quick decisions. Sometimes you see project proposals look very attractive on paper. The presentations are convincing. The benefit looks exciting, but the complexities remain hidden. We don't discuss with them. The hidden cost of weak approvals then pops up. When approvals are weak, the execution teams inherits problems. Common problem after such kind of conclusive mistakes, they include unrealistic timelines, underestimated budgets, unclear scope definitions, stakeholder conflicts. The project team then spends most of their time managing this crisis instead of delivering the project value. Let's look at the real problem in many infrastructure or the technology projects in India. This happens very, very frequently, which I'm sure you also have witnessed someday or the other. A project is approved quickly to capture the opportunity, but later the team discovers regulatory approvals were underestimated, stakeholder alignment was incomplete, cost assumptions were optimistic. The project manager is then expected to solve problems that started even before the execution. You understand the problem here. The key insight organizations often blame execution teams when projects struggle, but the real issue may be the weak governance during the approval itself. If approvals are not robust, execution becomes nothing but a damage control. The final thought of this discussion is that a strong project leadership begins with asking right questions before approval. Because once the project starts, correcting those early mistakes, that becomes very expensive. And that is why understanding project approvals is critical for every serious project professionals and the project leader, because unless you have an idea of these errors in the beginning of the project, if you don't ask these real questions, once you are in the execution phase, you will start having these daily surprises: cost overrun, time overrun, lack of resources, lack of provisions in your project will force you to cut corners. And the moment you start cutting corners from the direct cost of the project, you will start losing somewhere. Either you will start losing in terms of time, or you will start losing in terms of scope, or you will start losing in terms of quality, or at the end of the day, you will start losing in terms of cost. In any case, all these cut corners will virtually hit you somewhere. It will not be visible. As I said, it will hit you virtually immediately, but then later on they will be visible in your project. So the fundamentals of project approval, especially for approval during the initial phase of the project, is very very important for a project leader to be involved and to understand the complete scenario, how the project was approved. So today's video was based on this, and I'm sure that you would be definitely benefited with this discussion. We will also discuss about the execution phase and those errors which a project leader might commit in my next videos. In order to have these insights, in order to have these critical insights, it is very, very important for you to stay tuned to this channel, because these discussions are very powerful, these discussions are very insightful, and anybody as a project professional who is really trying to be a strong project leader, a project manager, a project director, would be very, very important for him to have such kind of discussions. So, yes, this becomes very important for you to stay tuned, be with this channel, like and subscribe such videos, our such discussions, and let's strengthen our community. So, looking forward, stay in touch. Bye bye. Take care.